Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, we'll be processing a BOL that has just been submitted by a driver. And we'll go ahead and run this through Ascend TMS by adding it to our load and then processing it out for payment. Okay, so here we are in our dashboard, our familiar dashboard. And as before, what we want to do is we want to go over to our left-hand menu panel, select loads, select view loads, and you'll see this is the load. We have two loads here, and this is the one that we're going to be processing that has just been delivered. We received the signed bill of lading. Our proof of delivery has just come in from our driver via email, and so what we're going to do is we're going to take that BOL and we're going to add it to this load, and then we're just going to process it out. The process is really quick and simple, and I'll show you exactly how simple it can be. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to go ahead and just retrieve this document from our email. So we're just going to navigate over to email, and here's the email that just came in from our driver. They have an app that they use to, so once they get the actual paperwork signed at the receiver, they'll just scan a quick copy with this app and email it into us. Okay, so this is the document that we received, and you can see this is the driver information, and this is our receiver information right here. Okay, and then so everything is in order, and here we go. So what we'll do is we'll just download this document, and what I'll do is I'll move it over to my BOL folder. So I'm going to transition it from our downloads right here. We just did that one. And I'll just pull it over into our BOL folder. And from within that, I'll move it into this week's folder. And there we go. All right. And so what I want to do is I want to rename it to match the rate confirmation that's associated with this load as well. So there's two primary documents for each load. You have the rate confirmation, we walked through that video, and we have the BOL. All right, so next what we want to do is we'll go to our RateCon folder where our RateCon is for this load. This is it here. And I'll just copy this file name like so, and then I'll just go back over to my BOL folder, same week, and let's see, this is the one, and I'll just rename it. I'll just copy and paste, and I'll make a few changes to the file name for the BOL. So what we want to do is we'll change the date to the date that it was delivered. The date for the rate confirmation is the date that it was picked up. So same difference here. We'll just change the date to the date that was delivered, and we'll change the file type. RC is for RateCon. We'll back that out, and then we'll replace it with bill of lading. Okay, and then it's been renamed. And so we're good there. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to go over to Ascend TMS. Okay, I've been kicked out. Looks like somebody else might be in here, but I will resume control of the platform, and we'll go back to our load. Come on, there it is. All right, and then so we'll edit this load. Actually, what we want to do is instead of editing it, we'll just go to our load documents for this load. And you'll see that the rate confirmation is already here. And so what we want to do is we want to add a new document. We want to add our bill of lading that we just received. So we'll go to our BOL folder, same path, and then here's our BOL that we just received and renamed. Okay, so you remember those 4 steps or 4 pieces of information that we need to process the document? We have our load, we have our broker information, we have our document name, and we have our document type. All holds true for every document that you process within the Send TMS. You have to have all four for every document. It's not going to do you any good to have all of the information on your Raycon, but not on your BOL. You have to attribute each criteria to each document individually. So you have to go through the process of adding each four pieces to each document. All right. So we have our load number, we have our broker, we have our document name that's automatically populated for us when we attach a document, and our document type. We'll just click here and we'll select proof of delivery, and then we'll upload it. Okay, that's been complete, and we'll just click close. We'll scroll to the bottom, and now we have both of our documents attached to this load. We have our BOL and we have our rate confirmation, and you can look over here and you have some identifiers here. You have your proof of delivery and you had your load confirmation, and over here you can see that the system has successfully processed them. Okay, and then so what we want to do is we'll scroll up and we'll just check this little box right here that says paperwork is okay. I believe I've already checked this, but normally what it does look like is it looks like mark paperwork okay, and then you just click that. You'll see a green flag appear, and that indicates that the paperwork is good to go. Then you'll click send to account management. You'll get a pop-up that asks, are you sure? The reason why it asks, are you sure, is because it'll take the load and remove it from the load management side of the platform and transition it completely over to the accounting side. And then so we'll say, yes, that's what we want to do, because it's from within the accounting side that we can go ahead and send it out via email to our factoring company. All right. And so just so you can see that it's truly gone, we'll go back over to loads, and boom, it's not there anymore. In order to find this load, we'll go down to accounting, and then we'll go to invoices and bills. And here you see at the top of the list, this is the load that we just sent over from load management. And you'll see that it has a sent status of unsent, invoice date of unsent, because it hasn't been sent. Obviously, that's the next step in the process. So what we'll do is we'll select it here, and then we'll just select email invoice. And then so we'll walk through the 5 steps to submit this invoice. Step number 1 is just the basic review of the invoice details. Here's the invoice number, which is basically the load number, and the invoice date, invoice total, terms. Terms say 30, but it's pretty much immediate. As soon as they receive it, they'll go ahead and kick us out the payment if we can get it in by 1 o'clock. And this video is specific to our factoring company. So if by any chance you're not using the same factoring company that we are, you just so happen to be watching this internal video within, this is for training purposes within our company. Our cutoff time is 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock p.m. So Central Standard Time. So for our purposes, we definitely want to make sure that if we get a BOL before 1 o'clock, everything stops and we process it, just so that we can go ahead and ensure that we receive payment same day before 1 p.m. We have to process it before that time. If we process it after that time, it'll just roll over to the following day. Okay. And so we just want to capture as much money as we can as quickly as we can. All right. And then so what we'll do next is we'll say continue to supporting docs. Okay. Now, this screen can present a little bit of confusion, because you'll see 4 different document types that appear to be required in order to proceed to the next step. However, the only 2 that you need are really the last 2. You need your proof of delivery, which is included, and you need your carrier load confirmation or your rate confirmation that's been signed included as well. And it's going to say excluded here by default. You just want to click that and switch it over to included. It's there, but you have to click it in order for it to be included in the email. You can ignore the unsigned bill of lading. You can ignore the client rate confirmation. We don't need that for our purposes. Next, you just want to click on continue to recipients. Now, the email that you want to make sure that you have in this list of recipients is first and foremost, if you don't have anything else, make sure that you have your factoring company in here. And this email is being pulled within the system from our broker's email profile. Basically, our broker's profile that we set up in order to process this process the rate confirmation into the system. You have to have a broker profile to associate it with. For every broker profile that we create, we use the same email for them. And the reason why we do that is because when we get to this portion, this step in the sequence of processing a BOL, this is the email address that is pulled from our broker profile every time. And so instead of having to come in here and delete it and add another recipient, we'll just, instead of putting the actual broker information, we'll put our factoring company information here, because it's going to pull it from their profile and automatically populate it here, which just saves us some time on the back end when we get to this step. And we also include a copy of the email address so that we can have an email copy and kind of see what the factoring company sees. We'll get a copy of what we send them. And so we'll include an email profile for ourselves, and then we'll also include our factoring company. All right. And then we'll just continue on to the body. This just shows what the factoring company will see when they receive this email. It'll show them the invoice number. It'll also show them what's attached. So there will be an invoice, and there will also be 2 additional supporting documents, the proof of delivery and the signed load carrier load confirmation or our rate confirmation. All right. And then we'll just continue to email the invoice. Boom. And it's been sent and submitted. And we'll go back to our invoice list just so we can kind of see the changes. And then so now here we have this invoice that has been sent on this date. And we have matching dates for our invoice date. And our due date is 30 days out, but it's typically same day if we can get it in before 1 o'clock, which we did. So we'll see this money hit our account today. All right. And then that's it. That's how we attach a signed bill of lading and walk it through the process of being submitted to our factoring company for payment. All right. So thank you for watching. Hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next video.